Okay, because people apparently don't seem to understand that I value my time and my hard drive space as opposed to 60 FPS, I'm going to go ahead and shoot this video in 60 FPS for all of you to enjoy. In this video, we are going to be taking a look at Windows 98. Not just any Windows 98 item, we're going to be taking a look at themes in Windows 98. So I've got a Windows 98 machine here. This is the HP Pavilion 3260. Somebody recently had asked me if I know where you could get parts for an HP Pavilion 3260. Namely, I think they were asking for power supply and top cover. My answer to that is good luck. I have never heard of the HP Pavilion 3260 before I got this one. There's not really a whole lot about it online, and I wager to bet if you go to look for parts on something like eBay, you'll probably come up empty. But that is about your best option at this particular point in time, would be to look on eBay, because this isn't being sold anymore, of course. It's a Pentium 166. I don't remember how much RAM this unit has installed, and I know that it's got a 3.2 gigabyte hard drive. Just get this random junk out of the way. A lot of stuff sitting around here, because I've got a lot of things going on right now. Anyway, we'll go ahead and turn it on. Assuming it comes on right when I turn it on, and it does. So we'll see if the monitor recognizes it. Which it does. Phoenix BIOS 4.0. Didn't get to see how much RAM was installed, and now we are starting Windows 98. Well, it wants me to install it. So there we go. We got audio out of the speakers, and it should be a little louder than the unpowered speakers. So, well, this is just a basic theme. There's not really much to it. That's what a window looks like. This is what our icons look like. Let's see if we can get some zoom. And we can go ahead and listen to the system sounds. It's not really as loud as I think it could be. Hopefully you'll get the idea. You can actually hear it. I think I might have surround sound enabled. That might be the problem. So we'll turn that off. Oops. It doesn't seem to have made a difference. But we'll leave it off anyway, just for the purposes of this video. So anyway, we'll go into the desktop themes control panel, and we'll go ahead and change to the first one, which is baseball. Select OK. So there we can see, that's what it looks like. Here are our desktop icons. My computer is home plate. See, network neighborhood looks like a speaker. The recycle bin is there. That's the only icons that have changed. These are general theme. And our desktop background looks like this. We'll get this control panel out of the way. And of course, as you can hear, it's got sounds for pretty much everything where the standard theme did not. So we'll go into the sounds and just have a listen to them.
Play ball! Hot dog!
I already heard that one. Some of them obviously haven't changed.
Play ball! Steer right!
okay, that's weird. Doesn't sound like baseball to me. Hope that doesn't get my video muted. This is standard. I think the only other one that would change is this.
Strike 3, you're out.
Yeah, I think that's it. So we'll go ahead and we'll go to the next one. That flash that you see there actually has something to do with the 256 color palette. I forget all the details. It's got something to do with there only being a specific number of 256 colors, and as the system is drawing things on the screen, it picks a certain set of 256 colors, so some things might look okay, but others don't, which is why you see that flash while it's trying to figure all that out, and then it determines what the best palette of 256 colors is. Everything else is dithered, and dithering, even though, again, I don't remember all the details, has to do with choosing different colors for nearby pixels so that it can simulate the color that you want it to be. So we'll go to Dangerous Creatures. Select OK on that. Now we got a jellyfish on this as our busy icon. So we'll go again into sounds. I mean, you can see, obviously, this doesn't look, perfect. It's dithered a little bit. If I were to put this into true color mode, you'd probably see that the background would be a little bit better. But I'm not going to do that because that would take a while, and I don't really want this video to stretch out to 4 hours in length because that would be boring. So you can see the icons. So we'll go ahead and listen to the sounds. I think some of them do change the new male sound. You heard that. Okay, so now we'll move on to the next one, which is inside your computer. There are screensavers. I forgot to mention there are screensavers, but we'll go into those at the very end once I've gone through all of these, because I don't want to... Well, it wouldn't really matter, but I'll just go into them at the end because I forgot them to begin with. So, here we go. Now there's a computer down there. We can see our theme has now been changed. So we'll take a look here. The desktop background is a computer, and our icons up here are as such. Let's fix this camera a little bit. We'll go into sounds. That was very bassy. Okay, we'll change our theme now to, let's see, what's next? Jungle. Click on OK. Ooh, now we got a snake as our busy icon. I don't know. You might hear that in the jungle. I'm not real sure. But anyway, here are our icons. There are obviously more icons than what I'm showing you, but I'm not going too in-depth with this because the video... I don't really want it to be too long. You can see the font as well is rather fruity. Some of these fonts I think I'm going to have to abscond with and make them available for download or just use them for my own personal purposes. They're probably available for download already. So somebody would have beaten me to it. Okay. Moving right along, let's go ahead and change our theme to Leonardo Da Vinci. Click on OK. Now you got a painting of the Mona Lisa as our busy icon. And I don't know, I think you could probably see the icons from here. I don't need to zoom in and show them to you. So we'll just move on into sound. If it'll let me do so. So, just as an example for the menu, that's what it would do. Okay, moving right along, we've got more windows up next. So this is a Windows. You can see Windows logo is the busy icon. I think you could probably get an idea as to what the font all looks like just from that. I think it should be okay. I don't need to do any zooming. I did notice down here that my icons have screwed up a little bit. I'm not real sure why that is. Might be the changing of the font size, which some of these things do. A lot of them also changed this preview icon. Not all of them. I think baseball didn't, but some of them, most of them anyway, changed this preview icon to something that belongs to the theme. You can see it's Windows, obviously. Start Windows is just the standard sound. So, moving along, we then have, some of these are high color as well, but you may have noticed that it still does that flashing. That's because we're running in 256 color mode. This system does not support high color unless you go smaller resolutions, I think, if I remember right. I don't remember. If you want true color, I know you have to go to 640 by 480. That's as high as it goes, but we're not going to do that here. Change to mystery. We can have a look at all of that. Ooh, scary. Oops. This is my favorite sound of them all. you listen in the background, you can hear the Windows 95 startup sound a little bit. Play it again. It's probably not exactly the same, but it's pretty close. So, anyway, moving along, we have got nature. Here we can see, that's another one of those fruity fonts. Sounds more like a beach than nature, although I guess a beach is nature. That's an interesting sound. So anyway, moving along, once again, we've got science. Oh, I forgot to note the bug. There's a bug in the system, of course, no surprise, it's Windows 98. Windows 98 is pretty much all bugs. Sorry about that. Screwed up the focus a little bit when I knocked the camera. Okay, take a little bit of a break here, and we'll have a look at more themes. Okay, moving along. Next up is space. That sound makes me laugh. I don't know why. It did as a kid and it still does now. It was another one of those ones with a fruity font. And our icons down here are really starting to look kind of funky. That was loud. I don't know what's so funny about that sound. It's always made me laugh. Sports is up next. I know people always love to hear me say sports. But anyway, check out this trippy background. Look at this. Look at that background. It's rather interesting. Some of those sound exactly the same. Bowling. Some kind of racing. Oops. No idea what that is. next up is the 60s USA. Peace, man. This used to be another one of my themes that I used a lot on my Windows 98 machine. I like that sound. And that one. Alright, next up is what? The Golden Era. Get an idea, it's just what the background looks like. I'm not actually sure what those are. Some kind of tractor. Yeah, it's got to be some kind of a tractor. Anyway, probably should know. Oops, wasn't what I wanted. I'll have somebody tell me I'm an idiot in the comments. Whoops, I could play that again. It sounded like a toaster. Which would make sense because the recycle bin looks like a toaster. So moving right along, we have... And it's going up to the top again. Travel. The background is a lovely shot of Grand Central Station, if I remember correctly. It looks like Comic Sans on the font. I don't think it is, though. Yeah, it looks like that is Grand Central Station. Excuse me, Grand Central Station. Sounds a lot different when you have the sounds. Of course it does. You actually hear sound. Sometimes I say the stupidest things. And it's usually on video, too. The next one, I believe, is underwater. Yes, underwater. This was another one of my personal favorites. Keep playing that. Almost makes you wonder how they recorded these. There is one more, Windows 98, 256 color. Which does look an awful lot like the... What was it? More Windows theme, but it's not quite the same. Actually, I think it is. Yeah, it is. It's exactly the same. So, we'll just move on. It just looks a little different. Now we'll go back to the default, and we will move into the screensavers. Wow, this is a long video. I've even got to go through the plus pack, too, so this is probably going to be over an hour long. So go to screensaver, and we will select baseball. And we'll have a look at this. This is just one of those ones that pops up images and plays a sound. So we'll just get a few examples of that. That's probably good enough. So next up is dangerous creatures. Oops. You can see underwater. Stingrays. And it plays a sound every once in a while. The point of a screensaver is actually for CRTs to prevent burn-in, for those of you that are unaware of this. And I imagine that some of my younger viewers probably are. But I don't know if I can really get away with saying that because I'm only 21. So eventually a shark should appear. There's stingrays and sharks in this one, but it might take it a while. There's a shark. And you'll notice, if we go ahead and zoom into it, looks very plastic. A real shark probably wouldn't look like that. I don't hear any sounds. Unless my speakers died. Next up is inside your computer. This is one of my favorites. There we go. And that sound's working again. Probably not for very long. I'll just let it loop through all the sounds. That was the best sound out of them all. I think there are two more. I think there is a modern day version of this screensaver in the Linux operating system. Certain distributions. I think X Screensaver's got one. They may even have one in Genome, if that's even still a thing. I know that most people don't use it anymore. Okay, well, there's all the sounds, so we'll move on to the next one. Jungle. Which just puts random things up on the screen. Got leaves to begin with, there's plants, and eventually animals, which play sounds. So imagine an office full of computers running Windows 98, where people have set their themes to various things, for example, this, or for example, jungle, excuse me. And then you've got a million of these screensavers going, playing sounds all over the place. I think system administrators could disable themes, or you could just not install them. That would be another option. There are other animals that appear, but I'm not going to sit here for that long, unless another one does come up. There's a monkey. At least I'm assuming that's a monkey. So, anyway, moving along. Leonardo Da Vinci, which I'm assuming, anyway, seems to scroll past some of his inventions. Da Vinci. Yeah, I think it's Da Vinci. No idea. I should probably know this. Again, I'm going to probably have somebody in the comments tell me I'm a freaking idiot for not knowing any of this stuff, but it's a lot of stuff to remember. You got to imagine I've got about 2 terabytes of swap storage space, but only 640 kilobytes of RAM, so it takes a while to remember some of these things. Anyway, mystery. This is a good one for Halloween. Oh, for crying out loud. So you can see the various lights in the house turn on and off. There's an owl over here. The door opens. This moon goes across the screen. Bats go across the screen. It plays sounds. All of these pretty much play sounds. There are a few that don't, though, of course. You can see that one there. Woo, scary. Next one is nature, which draws a bunch of leaves, slowly, because it's got to draw them. Rather high quality looking. And then we get caterpillars. There's a technical name for those caterpillars. They've got a name, of course. I have no idea if they are even a real example of the thing. I've seen the fuzzy caterpillars, but I don't remember. Again, here comes that whole 640k of RAM thing. I don't remember the name of them. Surprised they don't eat those. At least I don't think they do. They might, but I don't think they do. Science is a cool one. I'm going to go ahead and change it to inside out, just because I think that's the coolest. But there are a bunch of options. Glass sphere, which looks like that. Black hole, which you can't even see. Oh, there it is. You can kind of see it. Dent. Spiral. But inside out, I think, is the coolest. And you can change various functions on them, too. Let's just get general ideas to what it looks like. In fact, I'd wager to argue that that almost looks more like a black hole, at least until it blanks out some of that. Moving on, space. Get the idea. Space things flying around. Sports, which is a checkerboard. Chalkboard. It looks like a game plan being drawn on it. Anyway, next one is the 60s USA, which looks like it's exactly the same as the other sports one. Golden Era. So there's a guy down there reading a newspaper, probably a radio, maybe a clock of some kind, or a jukebox, who knows. And a telephone. It's various inventions come across the screen. Travel, which is pretty cool. Yeah, this is going to be a long video. Underwater. You got fish. All of this down here. This looks really cool. Got stingrays. There's a seahorse that comes up every once in a while. And a shark. Shark fin goes down the bottom. Moving right along, I believe the last one is Windows 98. Which takes your background and then puts it into boxes, and that happens. Makes your background, makes the screen look 3D, basically. So, that is pretty much it for that. Now we're going to move on to the Plus pack. And I'll have to get another computer to do that, of course. Oh, there's Windows 98 ramming one end of itself straight into the other. Is it going to let me continue? Is that a thing? Is it going to shut down? Or I'm going to have to force it? I think I'm going to have to force the issue. Okay. Well, anyway, I hope that didn't kill it. Okay, we've changed machines, so now we've got one that has got the Windows 98 Plus pack installed. We'll see if the monitor recognizes this one this time. Looks like it did. 128 megs of RAM. I didn't even check how much RAM was in the last one. I think it's either 64 or 128 as well. Shouldn't be any more than that. You don't really need any more than that for Windows 98. There's the Adaptec SCSI controller ringing in. It's a 10 gigabyte hard drive. Microsoft Windows Plus 98. Don't need my external speakers for this one. This one's got an onboard speaker. Now, the last time I tried using this machine, the keyboard and mouse didn't ring in until I ran it in safe mode. But it looks like it's actually going to work this time. Actually, I think what the problem was, it was the Cirque Glide Point driver trying to load and failing, and then it took over the mouse and screwed up the mouse. Well, actually, it screwed up the PS2 ports. Don't really know how you screwed up PS2 ports, but apparently it happened. Now it wants to install the monitor. Pretty sure it's already had this monitor on it before, so I don't know why it wants to install it. I don't remember what kind of graphics card this thing's got in it. We can easily have a look, even though it's not really privy to this video. Matrox Millennium G200 AGP. That's better than I thought it was. So anyway, once again, default theme, not really much to see, although I've got a background set on it, which is going to get reset as soon as I go into the desktop themes. We'll start with architecture. Shouldn't change my background. As you can see there, again, we're running in 256 color mode. I'm not sure why. I would think that this would support more than 256 color. Let's set it to high. Let's see if Windows 98 appreciates that. High color. Okay, well that didn't really do a whole lot. True color 24-bit. True color 32. I think this monitor can go up a little higher than that. The background is 256 color, it looks like. See if this monitor actually supports that. Looks like it does. Yes. But it looks like that's a non-stretched background too, so I guess there's one thing. Anyway, so again, you can get something of an idea as to what all of it looks like, at least I hope. I might lower the resolution back to where it was, so that it's easier to see. Yes. I think that's a little bit too loud for that speaker. Maybe I should have got out the other, the amplified computer speakers. I think we've got more sounds in this. Yeah, that's a bit much for these speakers. Let me go get the amplified speakers again. That's much better. No more distortion. I don't think it changes those. So, moving on. The next one is Kathy. We've got all the other screensavers. Desktop themes from the standard Windows 98 installation. I think that would actually be because I installed the Plus Pack over top of a standard installation. Some of these backgrounds in the Plus Pack are actually active. So you can go here and, for example, click on something, or maybe not. Oh, it wants me... Forget that. Get out of here. I'm not wasting my time. There's a lot of sound reuse in these particular themes, as opposed to, instead of, where the standard themes had new sets of sounds, this one just reuses them. Also note that there's no change in the preview. So, moving on to the next one. We've got Cityscape. Which has got a pretty neat background, if I do say so myself. You've already heard those. Like before, we'll have a look at the screensavers later. Next up, we have got Gorebyss Photography. I think, again, if you click on this, you can go to gorebyss.com, but it's going to do this stupid... Get out of here. It's going to do that again. if we have a look, again, some of these backgrounds are also active in that these pictures change. This one's all about photography, of course. My arm is in the way. Back here, now we have Doonesbury, which is a comic, which you could look at if it would let us, but it won't because we gotta run MSN setup. Just to open up Idiot Exploiter, we gotta run MSN setup. Not real sure why. Never understood that.
Hey!
Okay. Next up is Falling Leaves. You got a bug in the system again. This is another one of my personal favorites. You've already heard those. Next up is fashion. Ooh, fancy. I think this is something else you could click on. I'm not sure. I don't, doesn't look like it. Yeah, a lot of these have the same reused sounds. Up next is Foxtrot. You could actually, this is another one of those comics. I'd love to go and look at and see if the websites still work in Windows 98, but nope, not allowed to do that, MSN says. Like I said, a lot of them reuse the same sounds. That's nice. Excuse yourself, computer. Garfield is up next. Ooh, a pizza. You can see the animation in the background down there. I hope. I think you can. Yeah, you can see that.
Danger.
Again, excuse yourself, computer. That's twice in the same freaking video. Geometry. Look at that background. Yeah, it sounds like we got the same sound again for those. This was my personal favorite. That and the Garfield startup sound are pretty good. I was never much of a fan of the startup sound. There's just something about it that's not really all that interesting. Next, we have Horror Channel. I don't think I'm going to look at this one, because I was never much of a fan of it either. But yeah, I don't think I'll have to listen to the sounds. But here you can see that. It's pretty cool looking. Universal Studios. Yeah, I won't listen to the sounds on that one, because that used to give me nightmares. So, we won't do that. Jazz. I guess these all have non-active backgrounds for when you don't have active desktop enabled. But I do, so it does. Same sounds again for that. Next up, we have got what? What is next? Peanuts. Visit www.snoopy.com. Well, I would if it would let me. Kaboom. I think we've all heard the Peanuts intro and outro, so I'm not going to play exit Windows and start Windows, because that's what that basically is. Yikes. PU, something stinks in here. I'm going to turn the speakers down a little bit. Okay, up next, I think it's photo disc. Yeah, here we go. Photo disc. Again, the starting Windows sound for this one is one of my personal favorites. Now it's too quiet. Doesn't that figure? This is a very quiet theme. It's the kind of theme that you would have if you're awake at night all the time like I am. Whoopsie. Okay, up next is what? Rock and roll. Yeah. Okay, powered pics from photo disc. This is where the last background came from. Probably gonna turn the speakers down for this one too. Wouldn't it just be highly amusing if one of these got my video muted? I wouldn't even know which one it was either. Well, it would tell me the timestamp, but... Okay, up next is... science fiction. I've always wondered, if we go to the background, I've always wondered what these actually were. So they got shadows down there, too. That damn bird is getting in my video. I don't know if I even played this one. Up next, we have got... Is that it? Can't be all of them. I think there's two more. I think Windows 98 High Color is the one that I want. So Windows 98 High Color and then Windows 98 Default. I'm not sure if that's part of it as well or what. Let's go to Microsoft.com. How about we don't? That one used to always freak me out as a kid, too. It's exit Windows sound. almost like the standard Windows 98 log-off sound, but not quite. Again, still sounds. I believe we just got the standard start Windows here. Yeah. So let's have a look at that Windows default, because I'm not sure what it belongs to. I know Windows 98 256 color was a standard theme. Oh, it's just the default theme. What's the difference? I saw something different there. Anyway, World Traveler is the last one. Then we'll have a look at the screensavers for this. Like I mentioned, this is going to be a long video. This, I think, was my personal favorite theme. I had this on my original Plus 98 laptop. And borrowed sounds. This was another one of my favorite sounds. Gotta play that again. The Plus Pack on Windows 98 was a great way to make Windows 98 actually seem like it was a good operating system. Of course, it's just putting lipstick on a pig. You know, say that enough times, you make the Windows 98 crowd get up in arms, which they usually do on these videos when I say Windows 98 is terrible. Even though it's the truth. I mean, it was great for its time period, but oh man, I am so glad we are not stuck with Windows 9X anymore. I actually didn't mind Windows 95, but Windows 98 really did not seem like it was as stable as it really should have been. And part of it, I think, has got to do with the forced integration of Microsoft Internet Explorer, which really wasn't a great web browser. They had taken it, what was perfectly okay with Internet Explorer 3 and the NCSA Mosaic codebase, and absolutely destroyed it with ActiveX, JScript, and all kinds of other mess. VB script. I never liked it. Anyway, we'll go back to our Windows 98 default, or Windows default. I'll have to change my background back as soon as I'm done, too. And then we'll have a look at the screensavers. So our screensaver was... our background was forest. And so we'll go architecture first. Now, most of these screensavers are pretty much the same general technology. It's a background and things flying around. Just like that. And so we'll get out of that. There's one called Organic Art. We'll look at that one last. Kathy. Can you change settings for that? Yeah, I guess you can. There's a bunch of... well, that. Cityscape. They called this something else, and I don't remember what it was. You can see parts of your desktop start walking around the screen. In various, forms. 3, 4, 5, cube. And they put themselves back in random places. Gorebyss Photography, which just shows a bunch of Gorebyss photos. Doonesbury, which again I think is a bunch of photos. Yeah, it's photos. seems that, you know, you start with one picture, then you go out, and then you go out, and it keeps on going. Falling Leaves. This is another organic art screensaver. Fashion. Which I think is photos. I almost thought that was a duck of some kind, and maybe it is. It's probably something I should know a little bit more about than I do, but, well, who cares? I always thought it was kind of creepy. Is it going to do anything? Yeah, there's a little bit more to this screensaver. It's a fashion thing. Foxtrot. Garfield. This one plays sound. Geometry. This is another high color. Sorry, organic art. It's a low resolution. Presumably because computers of the time couldn't do high color at such a high resolution. Horror is another picture show from horror things. You know, horrific, scary. The screensaver I thought was okay, but the actual theme itself, man, that was the source of nightmares. It's supposed to cycle through pictures, but it doesn't do so very quickly. Some of the pictures were kind of scary, I think. Jazz. Here's another organic art screensaver. They must have made a killing with, who developed organic art anyway? Artworks.co.uk. They probably made a killing on this. Jungle. Oh, sorry, that was not what I want. There's organic art. Peanuts. It's a picture slideshow. So with Windows 98, the original, they had wonderful screensavers that did interesting things. These seem mostly like organic art and picture slideshows. So, you could tell where all the effort was focused. This is pretty cool, though. Rock and roll, organic art. Guitar picks and guitars. You can tell that the graphics are not really up to it, which is pretty sad considering it's Matrox Millennium. Should be a little bit better than that. You see how great it looks on there. Science fiction. I think this is also technically organic art. See those things flying around? They multiply, and I think they disappear too. They fly away. They combine. I don't... Where are the other ones? World Traveler. This is another one of my favorites. Very fast cycling time. We'll go for that. I'll probably show all of them. Because the pictures are really cool. I almost trip and fall over another tripod. Is it any wonder why I don't like tripods? They're in my way all the time. I think there are 16 pictures, so this might take a while. Right, and that's all. So let's go to organic art. See if we can find it again. Go into settings, change every, let's say change every 5 seconds. Ignore mouse movement. Well, we could use hardware acceleration if we wanted to. We might do that. Oh, sorry, this is the playlist. This is all the ones that we got. We'll take that one out. System information, credits. So there we could see who actually made organic art. So switch every 5 seconds. So I think it picks a random one. It's much better with hardware acceleration turned on. Computer artworks. I actually don't know how many there were. Probably should have checked. I might not do them all. I might do some of them. So maybe I don't want this video to take until 2019. Because remember, I gotta make the video and upload it. There's one of my personal favorites, the Golden Squirrel. That's what they call it. I think it'd be neat if you could extract the backgrounds too. Use the backgrounds. Maybe just take a screenshot. Some of them are really similar to each other, but they've just got different backgrounds. And the same backgrounds, of course, are used across multiple... Oh, this one's really cool. We won't get to see it flip around, though. That pure blue is actually kind of hard on the eyes. So is the pure red. But the red might be even worse. Okay, we've already seen this one. I already know that. So it's probably randomizing them. Okay, I think we get the idea at this point. That's what it looks like. So we'll go back into settings here. I'll turn off ignore mouse movements. Let's go back to all of those organic art screensavers. Yeah, organic art screensavers, and see if they work a little better with hardware acceleration turned on. This one wasn't too bad on its own. So I don't know if that's organic art or not. I guess I could find out. Oh, it is. So with hardware acceleration on. Definitely, yeah, it definitely works a little better with hardware acceleration. That's more like what I would expect. Trippy, man. Oops. And I wonder if these are programmed to do the same thing for all of them. Hope I didn't miss any. Oops. You could see what it's supposed to look like. I think the video has droned on for well more than long enough. After this is done, I'm just going to shut it all down. Make sure my sounds are correct. Look at that. It's going nuts over here. You can make the resolution larger, but I don't know, that might screw something up. I'm not going to touch that quite yet. It was some kind of walking screen thing. That's what Cityscape was. I don't remember what they called it. Definitely runs better. So, anyway, I think that is pretty much all I can think of to say on video. That's all of the themes. I think this is definitely droned on for more than long enough. Thank you for watching. If you've got any comments, feel free to leave them down below. Blah, I should probably just stop talking. And this is CP666 signing off. I hope to see you next time. Till then. See if Windows 98 rams one end of itself into the other this time. Looks like it didn't.